trig functions, and Alex, be quiet. We're doing trig functions, and it can be in any quadrant this time. So if I take a look at number 1, it gives me -4, 3, which is this triangle right here. -4 is the bottom because that's my x value. 3 is my side. And then the one you picked up in the hallway. So then I do the quadratic formula to find my c value. 3 squared plus 4 squared, I should have done that higher, is 9 plus 16 equals 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. Off the screen. Great. So my hypotenuse is 5. If I take a look at the top, it tells me that sine on these ones is my y value over my r value. R stands for radius. So if I go back on this triangle, I'm going to label in red. I didn't just jump into it. I said I'm going to start the notes. This way? Okay. They gave me -4 and 3, and then I solved for 5. Yeah, I do. I have 8 subscribers and like 50 videos. What? Yeah, they're the videos from class. This one's gonna go on there later today. You should like and subscribe. What? No, it's mostly Jerry. It's Jerry. Another teacher was gone for a while, so like all his students were watching my videos and they're like, who's Jerry? Yeah, back to the notes. The chapter reviews are actually nice because it's just me recording in here all alone. So it's not even the fan, it's the AC, but whatever. They're not in here. It's literally the AC. It's me and the AC. Yeah, it's the AC when it kicks on. Okay, so this is my x value, this is my y value, and this is my r value. Okay, so questions on how I labeled x, y, r. Yes. Why is it a 3? Because the point I wrote over says -4, 3, and 3 is the y value. No, I didn't. Look over here. -4, 3, x, y. Okay, any other questions on this picture so far? Yeah? How are you confused? Okay. Guys, you have to be quiet or else I cannot explain this. What I did was it gave me the point. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Because I wanted the whole question on here. Yes. So it gave me this point, -4, 3. -4 is my x value, 3 is my y value, right? So what I did was on the x-axis, I labeled it -4, and then on the y-axis, I labeled it 3, and then I used the quadratic formula to get my radius of 5. Is that your question too, sweets? Okay, what's your question? Yeah. Up and down is always y, left and right is always x, and then diagonal is always going to be r. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking if this one was a 5. That's a 5. Because I did the quadratic formula and it gave me 5 for the hypotenuse. Y is up and down. Y is up and down. So my up and down of my triangle. Yeah, that's why it's over there, because it's on the... Any other questions on how I labeled it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to find my 6 trig functions like the question tells me to. He's not even in here. Jerry. Because he was the one who was complaining about. Okay, so then sine, if I look at this chart up above, sine is my y value over my r value. So what's my y value? And what's my r value? No, it's 5. Okay? My cosine is my x over r. The radius. What's my cosine? What's my x value? Okay. What is my tangent? This one is y over x. What? Yeah, I'm just gonna put the negative out front of the whole fraction. So questions there? Why did I get what? The next, number 2? Kind of. I haven't finished number 1 though. What am I missing? Okay, so I'm missing the reciprocal trig functions. So these ones are where I take the fractions and I flip them. So if I flip 3 over 5, it turns into 5 over 3. Secant turns into... So I'm just going to move the negative out front. And cotangent turns into... Yep. So questions on number 1. Okay, what's your question? Yep. Radius. I know it's confusing. There's a lot of R words in here that sound very similar. Can I move on to number 2 or no? Rectangles. Definitely not working on rectangles this chapter. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is called a unit circle. This is a circle that's centered at the origin. So 0, 0. And when I draw it, ooh, that's pretty good. When I draw it, I should have drawn the circle than the graph. Oh well. Anyways, so each point, this is 1, 0. This one's 0, 1. This one's -1, 0. And the bottom one is 0, -1. So basically it has a radius of 1, and then those are my x and y values. Questions on what a unit circle is? I just drew it so you knew what our unit circle was. I'm going to use it for 2 and 3. So on number 2, it wants me to use the unit circle to evaluate the 6 trig functions of 270 degrees. So remember yesterday, we said these were my degrees on the graph. So 270 is where I want to be. So right here, my point value is 0, -1 for x and y. Because this is a unit circle, my radius is always 1. Let me go back and highlight that. Okay, so I just put a dot. I don't have to draw a triangle this one. So radius is 1. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go plug into the formulas at the top of the page. So sine is my y value over my r value. My y value, ooh, this is a -1. My y value here is what? Y. Not x. Y is always the second number. So -1 over 1, or just -1. My cosine is my x value, which is 0. My radius is 1, so 0 over 1 is 0. And then my tangent is my y over x. -1 over 0. What's wrong with this fraction? Can't have a 0 on the bottom, so my tangent is actually undefined. R is radius, yes. It told me a unit circle always has a radius of 1. Or if I didn't remember that, I could use the quadratic formula? Pythagorean theorem. Sorry, I'm doing quadratic formula in my other class. I can use the Pythagorean theorem because 0 would be A, -1 would be B, and then I would do that to get C. Okay, then I want to go find the other 3. Why? Okay. Okay, so cosecant, I go and I find the inverse of -1. So if I do 1 over -1, it's still going to be, because if I flip this fraction, it's still going to be -1. Okay? Secant, I'm going to have, this time I'm going to flip it, and it's going to be 1 over 0, which, is that okay? No, so secant is also undefined. And Friday we're going to be graphing this and see how the undefined values affect the graph. And then finally I have cotangent. I switch this one, so now I have 0 over -1, which gives me 0. So questions on number 2? If it's on the top, it's 0. If it's on the bottom, it's undefined. Okay. Any other questions on number 2? Can I move on to number 3? Okay. So number 3, I'm gonna draw my circle again. This is 0, this is pi halves, pi, 3 pi halves, 2 pi, 5 pi halves. So this time, my point is up here, and this is going to be 0, positive 1. So my x is 0, my y is 1, and because it tells me it's a unit circle, that means my radius is also 1. 1. How did I get these numbers from the outside? So I saw my number, my angle was given to me in radians. 0 is always where I start at. Pi halves is the same as 90 degrees. So each of these I'm counting by pi halves. And I counted until I found 5 pi halves. This one over here? Yeah. You can do that too. Okay, so can I go and figure out my 6 trig functions now? So sine is y over r, so my y value is 1. My r value is also 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. Then I do cosine. Cosine is x. What's x? 0 over r, which is 1. 0 divided by 1 is 0. Then I want to find tangent. Tangent is y over x. Y is 1, x is 0. So should I leave it like this? This one's undefined. Okay, then I'm going to go find my inverse trig function. So I have cosecant, which I take 1 over 1 and flip it. 1 over 1 is still 1. Because you always flip the fractions. Because remember when we did this on Monday? We did that up on number 1 too. See, like over here I had 3 over 5, and then I had 5 over 3. It's just... yeah. So I could go and look at r over y instead of just flipping the fractions. It's the same thing. Both should give me the same answers. Okay, so then if I go back over here, secant gives me what? This one's going to be 1 over 0. which is undefined. 450. And then cotangent gives me 0 over 1, which is just 0. Questions here? Yeah, all of those, because there's 6 answers. Any other questions?